board.
Is this going to be 30 seconds or 5 minutes? Because I don't want to hear a diatribe from you.
And I think
You haven't done your job in so long. You are so corrupt. You're disgusting. You are absolutely disgusting. You're an embarrassment to your profession. It's not about me. It's about the position. But you guys have made it personal and you've attacked me for months. You've hurt my family, my business, my colleagues, my work, my employees, the people in the in the building with me. Some of you should just be ashamed. And so I'm calling you out on it tonight. And yet I challenge you, find something where I called you a name, or I shook away your hand, or I wrote something bad about you in the paper. You won't find it. You call me the bully. I'm not the bully. Some of you are the biggest bullies there ever was, and you're the biggest cowards to boot. And it's amazing how you put the pressure on people. I probably ought to stop now. I've made my point. And if some of you want to choose to reflect, I think that would be wise. And if you don't, then you're just a hater. You can be vile and evil if that's what you choose, or you can hand your hand out to me the next time you see me, and I'll take it. We may not agree, but we're allowed to disagree. Decisions. There's a new board. And so I think we need to stop and move forward in the will of this board, not the will of the former appointed trustee board, and picked by the governor and his minions. So we're going to start fresh, and it's a new era, a new dawn here at NIC.
I see. Do we have a motion?
I would like to move to the resolution. The resolution will actually address this issue, this also.
You have prepared a resolution?
I have 3 documents that I will share with the other board members at this time for your review and then for your vote.
Okay.
So for open meeting laws, the governor's office actually called and said, if there's a resolution, it has to be part of the board packet before we can move on it. So since these were not part of the board.
That's not been the case before. We were not given the resolution for the property purchases.
Well, they were part of the executive session.
No, we never had an executive session.
Right, but you voted not to have an executive session, so.
Not given to us until we started the meeting. I am giving to you during the meeting, just as
And
has been done.
if you want to say something, please request to be recognized.
I'm just saying, like, the
No,
governor's.
no. If you want to say something, then please accept a request to be recognized.
I would
We're
like to
gonna
be
be
recognized
enforcing
to
that.
speak. Yeah.
Then say Chair McKenzie, I would like
Chair
to say something.
McKenzie, I would like to speak.
You have the floor, sir.
So based on the input I received today from the governor's office, they said we would risk being in violation of open meeting laws by not having these part of the packet prior to meeting.
And when did you get this information, sir?
They called today, this afternoon.
This afternoon? At what time?
I think at 3 o'clock. And I said at that time, I was not aware of any written documents that were going to be presented.
What would you think a resolution would be, sir?
Well, it can be a discussion of a resolution, but to actually present documents, I was not aware of that. I was not provided the documents, didn't know they existed.
Well,
If I may, Chair.
President, you're recognized.
I do believe you are violating state law on contracting. There was an RFP. I've seen the RFP that Mr. Lyons approved, and I can't speak to how that was done in the past, but I can say that there was an RFP and he responded to that. And I think that we are violating contracting laws by contracting without an RFP the services of any lawyer. So I believe that an RFP is necessary. And for the services for the board, if you want to approve, I think it's not best practice if you want to approve, but I think for internal NIC services, we have to make sure that someone meets the qualifications and meets the RFP requirement for contract services. So
Greg has all the copies.
I don't want to sign this until after I check to make sure it's legal, because I don't want to engage in a potentially illegal contract.
Okay.
I have no problem signing it if it's
Page
legal,
2,
but
it's all right there.
I will check, even if I have to pay
Page
my
2 's in the
personal
back.
attorney to do that. I
Double sided.
want to make sure it's legal before I sign it. I don't want to be engaged in an illegal contract.
Sir, you're under direction of the board.
Yeah, but
And
you
you
can't
work for the
direct
board.
me to do an illegal act.
It's not an illegal act.
So
I want to check with that. It can wait till tomorrow.
And who exactly are you going to check with?
I will check with my personal attorney.
I see.
I really believe that open meeting law has been violated. And I'm speaking regarding especially 2022-03, but also the other 2022-04. It is refreshing to note that Chairman McKenzie, Trustee Banducci, and Trustee Wagner have done a 180 and now acknowledge the accreditation risk that the college has been facing is actually a risk, and that it continues to face that risk under a status of warning. I believe open meeting law has been violated. This resolution specifically that I'm talking about has identified legal counsel, and that it believes, it says the resolution states the Board of Trustees has identified legal counsel and that it believes it is capable to the accreditation tasks and schedule. What meeting occurred where the trustees identified legal counsel? There was no such legal meeting to identify replacement counsel. Selecting an attorney to replace Mark Lyons is a tall order. I have neither seen a resume nor any documentation regarding why Mr. McComber is qualified to hold this important position. Mr. McComber wrote these resolutions, and he wrote his own fee agreement. He walked in and was hired on the spot. Who gets to do that? Our community expects more from the Board of Trustees.
I am going to recommend to the board that because some of these allegations that have arisen are along the lines that Ms. Zimmerman, Trustee Zimmerman was concerned about, that there were open meeting violations, specifically having to do with the hiring of our President Swain. Now, I don't know about that. I can't find out those facts until I investigate. What I did read in the minutes was that secondarily, I think it was maybe October, there was a correction to the contract classified as a scrivener's error. If you don't know what a scrivener's error is, this would be a scrivener, and I would be the scrivener if I'm scrivenering. And if I make a mistake, like I spell somebody's name wrong, or I get the PO box or the address wrong or something like that, you can go back and correct it. That's a scrivener's error. But when material terms in the contract are changed, that's not really a scrivener's error. That's genuinely a material change was made, and it's like hiding under, it's like what Justice Scalia said about regulations. Congress doesn't hide elephants in mouse holes, and you don't hide a material change to a contract inside a scrivener's error. So I need to investigate this. I'm getting no help from Mr. Lyons, but I don't know. So I am going to recommend to the board, based on everything I just said, that the board puts Dr. Swain on administrative leave, and then I can do the investigations and he will be protected. It's at full pay. It's not as if we don't expect him to ever take a vacation. Maybe it'll be like a vacation, but my point is that once I get the investigation done, then I can report back to the board what I find. My only concern is that in the meantime, college operations might be stymied. So I don't know what the board wants to do about that, but my recommendation is to Castle, our president, put him on administrative leave while I do my investigation. Then our president can have clean hands and say, I just want to assure the community that the entire purpose of my recommendation is to calm things down, give everybody a little space and cool off. And
speak another
so-
word and you'll be taken out.
So and I understand there will be varying opinions on this. Maybe I'll be on the top of the front page again tomorrow. I don't care. What I care is fixing NIC. So that's my recommendation. Well, I would love the file from Mr. Lyons, but without it, I'll just say the motion sounds like to place President Swain on administrative leave for a time allowing me and the board chair to investigate things that have arisen of concern that impede our accreditation success. And that's it.
I am dismayed and I'm just overwhelmed with the amount of hate and anger that certain trustees have for our community. I have never understood it and I still don't understand it. And when I hear that, accreditation is something that you really hold dear, it doesn't appear that way because everything that I have witnessed and now am party to, it appears that your sole purpose is to undermine the college and to bring it down and to destroy the college. And I cannot understand why. I don't think anybody can really understand why. Maybe perhaps you do. I don't understand it.
And it's come full circle again. You all were dancing in the street for about 6 months there. I hope you enjoyed the dance and the music. And now we're where we are now, right? Kind of where we started 2 years ago.